It appears that we have Bob Wright. Bob Wright.
I'm Bob Wright. I represent the Friends of the River. I've addressed you a couple of times before, and we've certainly done some written comments. I do have two comments to make to you today. Well, you still have time to stop and ensure your compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act and the Delta Reform Act. The first is that the Delta Reform Act, in section of the Water Code 85086 C1, that calls for the State Water Resources Control Board, for the purpose of informing planning decisions for the Delta Plan, as well as the BDCP, to develop flow criteria for the Delta ecosystem necessary to protect public trust resources. You all know that hasn't been done, and in your regulations you're proposing moving some sections that called upon the board to do that by June of 2014 to your plan. Our point is that you simply cannot lawfully, under either the Delta Reform Act or the California Environmental Quality Act, call for new conveyance upstream from the Delta before the State Water Resources Control Board does the work that only it can do, which is apply the public trust doctrine and set the new flow objectives to protect the declining Delta. You also recognize this at pages 5 to 6 of your statement of reasons that you released a while back. And that language also calls for state board action to inform your planning decisions. The other point I'd like to make to you today, while you still have time to comply with CEQA, is a CEQA requirement for an accurate, stable, and finite project description. We've heard talk today, and your lawyers have given you advice that, well, this is just a program EIR. You don't have to get into specifics. The huge illegality that you face is that there has at all times been a true project out there. Both Governor Brown and the California Resources Agency last summer told us what the project was. It was the two Delta tunnels with the capacity to transport 15,000 cubic feet per second of water around and away from the Delta. It would start out with 3 intakes with a 9,000 CFS capacity, but of course 2 more intakes could be added down the road. It's gotten even worse since then. The BDCP plan, they started releasing it last week. And indeed, the project is exactly what the governor and the resources agency said it would be last summer. And so we think that you've got deficiencies there that simply cannot be cured or wished away by responses to comments, and that the only way you can lawfully comply with CEQA is to issue a new draft DIR for public review and comment based upon that accurate, stable, and finite description of the true project, which has been known since last June. Thank you. That's the only comments I wanted to make to you this morning.